President and CEO of Paragon DX, Mr. Michael Murphy. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
We're going to talk a bit today about pharmacogenomics. Michael, can you tell me what exactly is pharmacogenomics?
Sure. Well, pharmacogenomics is the study of how a person's particular genetic makeup would affect their response to a drug, to a pharmaceutical drug. And the goal of pharmacogenomics is to try to predict ahead of time what would happen when you take a drug. Sometimes when you take a drug, it works like it's supposed to. Sometimes nothing happens, but oftentimes you actually have an adverse drug reaction. So one of the things we're focused on right now is trying to develop tests that will detect genetic variants that you inherited from your parents that would tell us right away, right from the beginning, that you might have an adverse event and try to prevent that.
Mm-hmm. So it's almost like you're making personalized medicine possible.
Yeah, it is. It's part of personalized medicine, and the goal is to give the right drug at the right dose right from the very beginning.
And can you give us an example of how pharmacogenomics, a drug example, of how pharmacogenomics can change the use of that drug?
Sure. So the one that everybody's focused on right now is a drug called warfarin.
Correct.
Otherwise known by the trade name Coumadin.
Mm-hmm.
Warfarin is an antithrombolytic, so that means that it's a so-called blood thinner. It's used for patients who have heart attacks and strokes and deep vein thrombosis. And it's a very widely used drug. About 30 million Americans are currently taking this one drug. And about 2 million new patients come on every year taking this drug. Every year. And there's some issues with the drug. The drug is difficult to dose for doctors. And we know, thanks to the study of pharmacogenomics, that there are about 60% of what's going to happen when a patient takes this drug could be predicted if we do some simple genetic testing first.
And what are you looking at with genetic testing?
In the case of warfarin, we're looking at two genes, one called CYP2C9, which is the drug that actually metabolizes and allows the drug to get through the person's body and be eliminated, and the other is VKORC1, VKORC1, which is the actual target of the drug. So looking at a few variants within each of those genes, we're able to make some pretty good predictions about the genetic component, which is, again, about 60% of the answer.
Okay, and how available is this?
Well, the test is becoming more widely available. We've been working with a company called Iverson Diagnostics in the Seattle area, and the problem really, or the challenge, is to make doctors aware of it. So we have a number of labs that are bringing on board this test, and now what we need to do is focus on the doctors, make sure they know about it, so that because of the fact that there's some recommendations for the test, that they actually are aware of that. And again, this is an old drug, relatively old drug, but this is a new concept, a new way of using the drug. So.
And what's the average cost? If I was a warfarin user, what could I expect to pay for a genetic test?
Well, because the FDA has actually been involved with this particular issue. They relabeled the drug in August of 2007. So because of that recommendation and the FDA's involvement, the test cost about $500, but it really should be reimbursed and picked up by most patients' insurance companies or healthcare coverage groups, so they would pay whatever their copay is.
Can you give me an example of how this is going to be beneficial? I mean, say a patient has a certain genetic variant, what happens then?
Well, our goal is to get the initial starting dose correct, and basically, instead of doing trial and error medicine and treating everybody like they're the same, we're recognizing that our unique genetic profile actually predicts what we're going to happen. And so we're trying to tailor the way we treat the patient, in this case the actual dose of the drug, to whatever the prediction is about how they're going to respond. So the goal, again, would be to prevent serious adverse events, in this case excessive bleeding, which happens between 15 and 20% of the time. So with 30 million patients,
and 2 million new a year.
And 2 million new a year, that's a lot of problems. So we hope we can solve.
It's really exciting to hear that there is something that we can do about that now. I thank you for your time speaking with us today and letting everyone know a little bit more about pharmacogenomics.
Glad to be here.
And until next time, and we'll look at the new developments with Paragon DX. Thank you.